Alright, for everybody out there that been trying to cut their own hair, here go an 8-minute tutorial on how to do a fade on yourself. So first and foremost, we start off with the trimmers and we make the first guideline. Now this fade here has no curve, no C-cup. And if you don't know what that is, go look it up, because it's kind of hard to explain. But when you're doing a fade with no curve, no C-cup, in my opinion, it lasts longer and it's easier to learn. Because right now I'm going to give y'all the basic steps. And then over time, as you keep doing it, that's how you're going to see improvement. But anyway, getting back to the fade, all we doing is knocking all that hair that we not keeping, we knocking all that off, making it ball all around. And then we come in with our clipper. This is closed. I just want y'all to know this is open. So we're going to go open up about a 1/2 inch. Okay, so open up about a 1/2 inch all the way around. Now I know I'm only showing y'all one side, but y'all should know what you do to one side, you do to the other side. So all the way open up about a 1/2 inch, and make sure you're keeping the line even. And that's okay if it's not even the first time you do your fade on yourself. Like if one side higher than the other, that's okay, because over time you're gonna learn symmetry. Right now we just getting the basics. Alright, and after you finish that, this line that we created right here, this line is the line we're going to knock out with the clipper all the way closed. See how I closed that? We're going to knock that line out with it all the way closed with no guard. So when we go to the line, we flicking out. Don't go to the line and just go up, because what you're going to end up doing is creating another guideline, and we don't want that. So you got to flick out a little bit. You got to scoop out. I know it might not look like I'm doing it, but I am doing it. It only don't look like I'm doing it because I'm experienced. But don't just go all the way up with the clipper all the way closed, because you're just going to make another guideline. You got to scoop out as you're doing it. Now right here, I opened up the clipper a little bit. This step is called trigger play. Now all I'm doing right here is opening and closing, depending on if I feel like the line is easy to get out or hard to get out. Now I'm not going to lie, when you put in a guideline with a trimmer, sometimes the line will be a little bit harder and more difficult to get out. And sometimes you got to revert to your trimmer in order to even get it out, especially if your clipper not zero gap. But ultimately, you use the clipper all the way closed, scoop out, and then you can go ahead and get that line out, no problem. As you can see, the line just disappearing right now. And it's not going away, it's just fading in. And that's what you're looking for. You don't want it to be bald as if you used a trimmer all the way around, but you don't want that harsh line either. Moving on to our guards, we start with the number 1 guard. We slap that on our clipper, and then we do the number 1 all the way open, just like I told you. And we're going to keep that clipper open, just like so. Remember, this is closed right here, and this is open. We're going to go all the way open. And then we're going to go open up about a 1/2 inch. The same thing we did when we had the no guard on there. We go up about a 1/2 inch. You want to keep your lines the same size, because if not, then your fade gonna be like choppy, like it's gonna be elongated in all the wrong places. So go up the same amount you went up on the first time. If you went up a full inch, then you're gonna go up a full inch with this. If you went up a 1/2 inch, you're gonna go up a 1/2 inch. So all that is the size of your lines. And this is going to be a 1/2 inch, because we did a 1/2 inch with no guard all the way open. And all we're doing here is going straight up about a 1/2 inch. It's okay if you make a guideline here. You can go straight up here and not scoop out, because we got a whole nother guard that we got to put on in order to, fade it into the hair. So as you can see, when I'm doing this line, you can see the other line appearing. And I'm going to point it out to you so you can know what I'm talking about. But right here, I'm finna show you the line that we finna get out, which is this line right here. We finna knock this line out with the 0 which can guard. Also be called the 0.5, the 0.5. See, mine is like a 1/2 guard, but it's different for everybody. But ultimately, it's a 0.5 guard. That's the guard that you're looking for. It'll be the smallest guard in your pack. That's the guard that you're looking for. But what we're going to do different here is we're going to actually close this clipper. Actually, we're going to do close and halfway. As you can see, that's halfway. We're going to start off halfway, just like this. Halfway open, we're going to start off and see if that halfway is going to do something. Because you don't want to go all the way closed and you take too much hair off. That's why we're doing halfway. We kind of softening that line up. Because if halfway could get it out, then we don't have to go all the way closed. So we start off halfway. But to make it easier for y'all, we're going to close it all the way up. And I suggest y'all go all the way closed first. And then when you get experience, you can start knowing, okay, we're going to go halfway just to, soften that line up, just to make the fade look better, look cleaner, the transition look smoother. But for learning, like, preferences, and to make it easier on y'all, because I know that y'all watching, just close the clipper all the way. and, you know, flick out the same way I had told you, flick out, scoop out, because you already got your lines going. So you want to scoop out and flick out on this up here so that you don't create another guideline into that, because you can see right now just from this how good that fade coming out. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to make no guidelines. We don't want to mess this up. So make sure that you flicking out and you getting that line out. Make sure that that clipper is flush to the skin as well. Now, this the line I was telling y'all I was going to point out. That line right there came from us with that one guard all the way open. Now, that's the line that we finna go ahead and get out and fade in. And to get that line out, we're gonna use that 1.5 guard. We're gonna go 1.5 and we're gonna go all the way open. Now this line here is gonna take most of your time to get out, simply because this is the line that goes into the hair at the top. He didn't want to take no hair off the top, which is going to be the same process that y'all have when y'all got the hair at the top and the fade at the bottom. All you doing is just fading that or blending that into the hair at the top. So this step is not to like scare y'all or anything, but it's okay if it takes the most time, because you simply just don't want like it bald and then hair. Y'all don't want that. So that's why you should, and it's okay if you take more time on this step here, getting that to blend into that. Now, if you got long hair, like if you got locks or whatever, you might not have to take a lot of time. But if you got hair that's brush length or sponge length, yeah, you might have to take a lot of time, because you want to make sure that that fade is neat and the transition is smooth. So like I said, we're going all the way open and we continue to brush. Now, the reason why I'm going sideways in some parts is because his hair grows sideways out the scalp. And when you got a barber's eye, you could tell, you know, you could see all of that. But when you combing or you brushing and you cutting, you always want to comb and brush as much as you can, because you want the hair to lay in its natural state. Now, if your hair grows straight down, then you good. You don't have no, you know, you good. You don't have nothing to worry about. Just cut straight up and down, you good. But when it curves like this and stuff like that, you want to cut it opposite way of how it grows. So as y'all can see, the top of his hair, it grows sideways. So you can see it better now since the hair is lower. You can see that it grows sideways. So that's why I'm cutting it sideways. But y'all can also see that that line has disappeared. It has faded in, and all I did was cut it the way that it grows and also flicked out, because we don't want to create another line. Now use that same guard, and it is open. And we just going down. We just going down to make sure that that top blends in with that bottom, because we just don't want no lines. We want everything to look smooth. And like I said, it is open. It's open, and we just cutting it the way that it grows now. So if it grows down, we cutting it down. If it grows to the side, we cutting it to the side. And we continue to brush. We continue to comb. I would suggest having a brush, because a brush lays the hair down, especially when it's low. But that's all we doing, just brushing the hairs, putting the hairs where it go at. And then after I brushed and cut, I seen a little dark spot. And I just go ahead and slap my one guard on there all the way open, and I flick at that dark spot that I seen. Now, granted, this is a step for the more experienced barbers, like, because a lot of people not going to develop that barber eye until later on down the line. Because even if you see something, if you don't have a barber eye, you probably not going to know like what guard to put on there, you know? Not until you get more experience and more comfortable. But again, I just seen that dark spot in that fade. I put my one on there all the way open, and I went ahead and I knocked that out. And now I'm just finna do some cleanup work with my one guard, and I'm gonna do some trigger play, which means it's gonna be open and closed depending on what spot I see. But this tutorial was more so for the fade guys and the sky top fades, high top fades, whatever, no curves. So I hope y'all learned something from this, and if y'all ever need another type of video, maybe tapers or anything, just let me know. Comment in the comments and I'll respond with a video for y'all.